The integrated air defense networks across Eastern Europe operated within their normal coordination parameters. On September 27, 2024, military operators monitored automated tracking systems with the precision that keeps airspace secure against hostile incursions. Radar installations from the Baltic coast to the Black Sea fed data into centralized command networks that coordinated defensive responses across national boundaries. Threat assessment algorithms processed thousands of airspace contacts simultaneously. Autonomous engagement systems maintained ready status at 340 defensive positions across 6 countries. Nothing indicated that coordination protocols were being systematically corrupted. The first indication appeared as a minor timing discrepancy that seemed too routine to escalate. At Aero 2:17 UTC, an air defense coordination center in Poland logged a 340 millisecond delay between radar track data and the corresponding update in the integrated air picture display. The lag remained well within acceptable parameters for network latency and processing overhead. The operator who noticed the timestamp mismatch during routine log review attributed it to standard network congestion and scheduled no follow-up investigation. The coordination system returned to normal synchronization within 4 minutes. The incident closed as routine technical variance, but the desynchronization was spreading. Over the next 13 hours, similar timing anomalies appeared across air defense networks in multiple countries. Command centers in Romania reported brief data processing delays. Radar integration nodes in the Baltic states logged intermittent synchronization drift. Fire control systems in Ukraine experienced unexplained coordination lag between threat detection and engagement authorization. Each event appeared isolated, different systems, different locations, different technical manifestations. The incidents remained below thresholds that would trigger coordinated investigation because air defense networks operated through separate national command structures with independent monitoring protocols. At 15:32 UTC, the pattern became impossible to ignore. 17 air defense coordination nodes simultaneously experienced synchronization failures severe enough to degrade automated threat response capabilities. The desynchronization appeared in precise geographic sequence, propagating from eastern positions toward western defensive networks in less than 7 minutes. Military command centers across Eastern Europe initiated emergency protocols. The defense systems remained functional. Individual radar and missile batteries could still operate independently, but the integrated coordination that enabled efficient multi-layered defense coverage had degraded into fragmented responses with dangerous gaps. The NATO Integrated Air and Missile Defense Coordination Center activated its crisis response protocols. What looked like scattered technical problems was revealing itself as systematic sabotage. The air defense networks weren't experiencing random equipment failures. They were being deliberately desynchronized. Every modern air defense system depends on precise timing coordination to track fast-moving threats and coordinate engagement sequences between multiple defensive layers. When coordination timing drifts by even milliseconds, the integrated air picture fragments, engagement handoffs fail, and defensive coverage develops exploitable gaps. Technical teams began reconstructing the attack timeline. The timing manipulation had been active for at least 15 hours before the simultaneous desynchronization event made the pattern visible. During that period, coordination systems had experienced progressive degradation that appeared consistent with network performance variations or equipment aging. The attackers had been testing response thresholds, introducing graduated timing delays to map how defense systems reacted and what synchronization errors would degrade capability without triggering immediate alerts. Analysis teams identified the vulnerability architecture within 8 hours of full alert status. The attack exploited GPS timing signals that air defense networks use to maintain precise coordination. Every radar station, command node, and fire control system synchronized its operations to GPS-derived time references. By manipulating these timing signals through sophisticated spoofing, The attackers could introduce coordination errors that degraded integrated defense effectiveness while individual systems continued to function normally. The technical analysis revealed alarming sophistication. Rather than disrupting GPS signals completely, the operation introduced carefully calibrated timing delays that varied by geographic location and system type. Radar networks received different timing offsets than fire control systems. Northern defensive positions experienced larger delays than southern ones. This created a graduated desynchronization that prevented efficient coordination between defensive layers while avoiding the total system failures that would have triggered immediate crisis response. If the operation had continued undetected for another 9 hours, it would have intersected with a scheduled major air operation involving 180 military aircraft conducting training exercises across the region. The desynchronized air defense systems would have struggled to distinguish between friendly training traffic and potential hostile intrusions. The coordination gaps would have created windows where actual threats could exploit the degraded defensive coverage. More critically, the timing errors could have caused automated engagement systems to misidentify friendly aircraft as hostile targets. A fratricide scenario that air defense operators had been trained to prevent through redundant safety protocols now compromised by the timing manipulation. The cascade modeling revealed the scale of what had been narrowly avoided. The affected air defense networks protected 110 million civilians across regions that had experienced heightened military tensions. The defensive coverage included protection for 47 nuclear power facilities, 83 major population centers, critical government installations, and military infrastructure. A 9-hour window of degraded coordination during the scheduled air operations would have created defensive gaps exploitable by sophisticated adversaries. Consequences extended beyond immediate defensive capabilities. Air defense coordination failures would have forced grounding of civilian air traffic across the region. Approximately 2,400 commercial flights daily serving 340,000 passengers. The airspace closures required to ensure safety during degraded military coordination would have created cascading disruptions throughout European aviation networks, affecting intercontinental routes and creating delays propagating globally for days. Economic infrastructure represented another critical vulnerability. The protected regions included financial centers processing 4.8 trillion euros in daily transactions. Major seaports handling 40% of regional maritime trade operated within the defensive coverage zones. Manufacturing facilities representing 680 billion euros in annual production value depended on the stability that air defense capabilities provided. The psychological impact of demonstrably degraded defensive coordination would have affected investor confidence and economic decision-making beyond any direct physical damage. The National Security Agency had been tracking the GPS timing manipulation since 0645 UTC. More than 8 hours before military operators recognized the coordinated pattern. The initial detection came from signals intelligence platforms monitoring electromagnetic emissions across Eastern Europe. The platforms identified GPS frequency transmissions that matched signatures of previous spoofing operations, but demonstrated unprecedented sophistication in targeting military timing systems. Within 5 hours, NSA analysts had mapped the complete spoofing network, identified 23 transmission sites, and begun coordinating with NATO partners on neutralization strategy. The challenge wasn't just stopping the GPS manipulation, it was doing so without creating worse disruptions to air defense systems that had already adjusted their operations to compensate for the degraded timing. Abruptly restoring accurate GPS signals could cause coordination systems to overcorrect, potentially triggering the same automated response failures that sustained spoofing would have caused. The countermeasure deployment began at 1840 UTC. Specialized jamming systems activated across the affected zone, targeting the specific frequencies and modulation patterns used by the spoofing network. The jamming was coordinated with military operators to ensure that air defense systems could smoothly transition from corrupted timing references to legitimate GPS signals. The process required careful sequencing. Different defensive layers needed to restore accurate timing in coordinated order to prevent creating new synchronization gaps during the transition. Military operators simultaneously activated backup timing systems that didn't rely on GPS. Atomic clocks installed at critical command nodes provided independent time references that could maintain coordination even during complete GPS outages. These backup systems had been deployed after previous defensive incidents but had never been activated during an actual coordinated attack. The transition protocols had been tested in exercise, but this represented the first operational deployment under crisis conditions with actual defensive responsibilities at stake. The coordination restoration took 57 minutes. Air defense networks gradually shifted from GPS timing to atomic clock references while NSA jamming systems suppressed the spoofing signals. The transition created brief synchronization fluctuations that remained within operational tolerances. Timing variations that defensive systems could accommodate but that operators monitored with intense focus. By 1940 UTC, all affected defensive positions had returned to stable coordination, and the integrated air picture had restored its normal precision. Ground teams moved to locate and disable the GPS transmission sites. They found 23 installations positioned across a 2,400-kilometer arc from the Baltic to the Black Sea. Each site consisted of military-grade GPS simulator equipment modified for enhanced power output and equipped with precision timing sources. The equipment wasn't commercially available. The components indicated state-level manufacturing capabilities and specialized knowledge of military GPS applications. What made the operation dangerous was the sophisticated understanding of air defense coordination vulnerabilities and the precise calibration required to degrade military timing without triggering immediate detection. By 2320 UTC, air defense networks had returned to normal operations. Military authorities issued classified advisories regarding enhanced timing integrity monitoring and accelerated deployment of GPS-independent coordination systems. Defense ministers convened emergency consultations to review protective measures. The immediate crisis had been contained, but the vulnerability demonstration had been unmistakable. The investigation revealed additional concerning details. The GPS spoofing equipment had been in position for at least 19 days before activation, operating in monitoring mode to gather data about military timing signals and defensive coordination patterns. This reconnaissance period allowed the operators to calibrate their timing attacks for maximum effectiveness against specific air defense architectures. The activation timing, early morning before major air operations, was clearly chosen to allow desynchronization to accumulate throughout the day and reach critical degradation during the scheduled exercises. The geographic targeting showed strategic understanding of integrated air defense architecture. The affected coordination nodes represented critical links in multinational defensive networks. Degrading these specific positions would have created gaps in coverage that sophisticated aerial operations could exploit. The 9-hour window before the air exercises represented the operational time frame the attackers needed to create exploitable defensive vulnerabilities. The operation also highlighted cascading risks across interconnected military systems. Air defense coordination failures don't just affect missile batteries. They cascade through early warning networks, command and control systems, and joint operations planning. The same timing precision required for defensive coordination also enabled offensive strike planning, intelligence gathering coordination, and allied force integration. Compromising these timing systems degraded multiple military capabilities simultaneously. NATO authorities and the NSA conducted extensive analysis of the transmission equipment and operational patterns. The technical fingerprints showed innovations beyond previous GPS spoofing operations. Specifically, the differential timing delays calibrated for different defensive system types and the sophisticated understanding of military coordination protocols. This suggested either significant capability advancement by known threat actors or new operators with specialized expertise in air defense vulnerabilities. The incident triggered comprehensive reviews of GPS dependency across military systems. Defense forces accelerated deployment of GPS-independent timing systems and enhanced monitoring for spoofing detection targeting military networks. NATO initiated studies on alternative timing references that couldn't be spoofed by ground-based transmitters. Military security authorities updated their threat models to include coordinated timing attacks as a primary concern rather than a theoretical possibility. But the fundamental vulnerability persisted. Air defense systems would continue to rely on precise timing for coordination. GPS would remain the primary timing source for most military networks. The satellites would continue broadcasting signals vulnerable to sophisticated spoofing. The only effective defense remained detection and rapid response, exactly what this operation had been designed to evade long enough to create exploitable conditions. The behavioral analysis revealed troubling operational characteristics. The 19-day reconnaissance period demonstrated patience exceeding typical cyber attack timelines. Most attacks on military networks sought immediate intelligence gain or system disruption. This operation showed different characteristics: prolonged observation, careful calibration of timing attacks, and coordination with scheduled military activities to maximize impact. The sophistication suggested state-sponsored operations with specific strategic objectives. Geopolitical analysts noted the timing relative to regional military developments. Several countries affected by the timing attack had recently enhanced their air defense capabilities through NATO integration and equipment modernization. Demonstrating vulnerabilities in these improved defensive networks would undermine confidence in the new systems and create political pressure regarding defense investment decisions. The operation occurred 6 weeks before a major defense summit focused on integrated air and missile defense capabilities. Military exercises scheduled during the degradation window had included participation from Allied forces testing interoperability of recently integrated defensive systems. A coordination failure during these exercises would have exposed gaps in Allied defensive cooperation and raised questions about the reliability of integrated defense concepts. The reputational damage to multinational defense cooperation could have created strategic effects beyond any direct military impact. The technical community developed improved detection mechanisms for timing attacks on military systems. The GPS manipulation had evaded standard monitoring because it mimicked natural signal degradation patterns that defensive systems were designed to tolerate. The new detection approaches used correlation analysis to identify coordination patterns across multiple defensive positions. Recognizing that simultaneous timing anomalies at geographically distributed sites indicated deliberate attack rather than environmental interference, defense contractors began developing enhanced timing integrity systems specifically designed to detect and resist military-targeted GPS spoofing. These systems cross-referenced multiple independent timing sources, implemented cryptographic authentication for timing signals, and maintained detailed logs that could identify subtle manipulation attempts. Implementation required extensive testing to ensure the security enhancements didn't degrade the responsiveness that air defense operations demanded. Intelligence agencies conducted attribution analysis using technical forensics from the recovered spoofing equipment. Manufacturing techniques, specialized components, and operational signatures provided strong indicators about probable state-level origins. The sophistication level and military-specific targeting narrowed the attribution possibilities, though definitive proof remained classified within intelligence channels. Training programs for air defense operators were updated to include recognition of coordination degradation that might indicate timing attacks. The new protocols emphasized human oversight of automated systems during periods when synchronization anomalies appeared, even when those anomalies remained within nominal technical tolerances. The training acknowledged that sophisticated attacks would specifically target the boundary between normal variance and alert thresholds. Research institutions studying military timing vulnerabilities identified fundamental tensions between operational requirements and security considerations. Air defense systems required precise coordination measured in milliseconds to engage fast-moving threats effectively. This precision demanded reliance on GPS timing that created vulnerabilities to sophisticated spoofing. Alternative timing systems existed but typically sacrificed some coordination precision or required infrastructure investments that defense budgets struggled to support. The incident accelerated classified programs developing quantum timing technologies resistant to electromagnetic spoofing. Quantum systems promised timing precision exceeding GPS capabilities, while offering inherent resistance to external manipulation. However, the technology remained years from field deployment and required infrastructure changes across existing defensive networks. The timing attack created urgency for these programs but offered no immediate solutions to current vulnerabilities. Allied military cooperation frameworks established new information-sharing protocols, specifically focused on defensive timing integrity. The coordination improvements required overcoming classification barriers and national security sensitivities that historically limited real-time threat information sharing. The protocols represented significant changes in how Allied forces coordinated defensive operations and threat response. Public safety authorities conducted assessments of civilian impact scenarios during degraded air defense coordination. The analysis revealed that coordination failures would likely trigger emergency protocols requiring civilian sheltering in major cities. The logistics of coordinating shelter-in-place orders for 110 million people exceeded existing civil defense capabilities. Economic security analysts examined market stability implications of demonstrated vulnerabilities. Evidence of coordinated attacks degrading defensive capabilities could trigger capital flight affecting regional economic development. Several major institutional investors began incorporating air defense integrity assessments into their risk models. Defense industrial analysts noted implications for weapons systems procurement. The GPS timing vulnerability affected precision strike capabilities, navigation systems, and battlefield coordination technologies. The analysis prompted renewed interest in GPS-independent military technologies that had been deprioritized during decades of reliable satellite navigation. Academic research institutions identified the timing attack as representing evolved threat methodologies. This operation demonstrated physical effects achieved through electromagnetic manipulation, a hybrid approach combining electronic warfare and cyber techniques requiring updated doctrinal frameworks. The technical investigation uncovered concerning details about the spoofing equipment's operational design. The systems incorporated fail-safe mechanisms that would automatically deactivate if detection seemed imminent, leaving minimal forensic evidence. The sophisticated operational security suggested the attackers had studied previous operations and engineered their systems to avoid detection pathways. Defense budget planning incorporated increased allocations for timing security. The investments included enhanced monitoring systems, backup timing infrastructure, and research programs developing GPS-independent coordination technologies. The budget shifts created tensions with other modernization priorities. Military doctrine development incorporated lessons from the timing attack into updated operational concepts. Air defense planning now explicitly accounted for potential coordination degradation scenarios and developed tactics for maintaining defensive effectiveness with reduced synchronization precision. The systems remained stable. Air defense networks maintained their coordinated tracking. Radar installations processed their thousands of contacts. Engagement systems stood ready at their defensive positions. The 110 million civilians protected by Eastern European air defenses went about their daily activities without awareness of the timing vulnerabilities that could have degraded the systems safeguarding their security. Everything worked normally, until the moment it wouldn't.